Well, they always said, get into radio because it'll never be boring. No, one day will be the same as the next. And it's same in terms of who can come into your studio at any given moment, because I'm very chuffed. With me in the studio, the one and only living legend, Dolly Parton. Dolly, hello.
Hey, how y'all doing now, David? It's mighty fine to be right here in this beautiful city of yours.
What are you doing here?
Well, you know what? I'm heading out to Kingaroy, where they've got an awful lot of pigs, and I tell you what, where we're from, we say sweet, but right here you seem to say Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Are you, because I always thought all big stars of your calibre had gone vegetarian. But that's not you, obviously. You've got a taste for bacon.
Now, David, I'm from Tennessee, and now, man, we've got a lot of pigs out there. And I'm telling you right now, I'm way, way far away from vegetarian. I can't get enough of those delicious pig deliciousness right out there at Kingaroy. But do you know what? I love this area because regional festivals, they are the absolute, they're the bomb. They're the best. And do you know, I also was out, you might have seen me out there, I was out at Stanthorpe Apple and Grape Festival this year, but you know, I was Dolly Apple Parton out there. And in Kingaroy, I'm Dolly Bacon Parton, and I mighty love it. And I mean, I'm a bit of a favourite because I've got the biggest asset, I'll tell you what. Don't be looking down there. It's the biggest asset. You know what it is? It's my accent, because I'm from Tennessee, and people just love people from Tennessee, and I love the welcome they give me.
I was never going to suggest that your asset would be anything other than your accent.
Oh, I'm pretty proud of all my assets, you know. My singing, my dancing, my playing the banjo. And do you know what, though? My manager's Madison Hebbard, and she's the bomb as well, and she's from Travel Rural Australia. That's our double O, kangaroo rural. And I tell you, she is the best, and I'm gonna pass you over to her because she's the one that's gonna tell you the story. But before I go, I'll give you just a little bit of my songs that I sing out in Bacon Fest, you know.
Go on.
Baby, when I met you, there were pigs all round. I set out to get you with a piggy sound. I was crisp inside. There were pigs in the mud. Did you like that, David?
I loved it, Dolly. Loved it. Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too. I'll pass you over to Madison. G'day. How you going, David?
Change of a hat. How are you, Madison?
Oh, look, I just want to... Thanks very much, Dolly. That was mighty fine of you to come in. No problem at all. Thanks very much, Madison, for having me. Can't wait to see everybody out at Bacon Fest in Kingaroy. Don't miss it in a couple of weeks' time.
I knew she was a great songwriter, but to, fashion a song, on a certain theme just like that, that's pretty impressive.
I tell you what, she does everything. She does it for the apples. Every festival she goes to, she changes the words.
Yeah.
And she's a gifted... she Islands of the Stream, I've never heard... Bacon's in the pan, like
who'd have thought it? But it works.
Very, very versatile, and
like
she's
that.
loved. I mean, she's totally right. That accent, people love Tennessee people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're always asking me, how long does it take her to get here? And I said, it's 20+ hours, so it's a bit of an effort, on the costume and everything. But that's her normal clothing, so she just comes in the plane like that.
That's right, exactly, exactly. Madison, I have to ask, how did you get into this career? Because it looks like you have a lot of fun.
I do. I really, really do. I often have very sore cheeks from laughing and entertaining people. I love smiles. I always tell people, you give one, you get one back.
Yeah.
Always walk down the street with a smile on your face. And I like to try it out. I do it, but I'm sure people wonder what I've been up to, But I tell you what, I was looking for something different that combined my love of regional areas and making people laugh, and that's how I got into this. I want people to forget about the stresses of the world. The farmers need to come in off the farms even for a day. I know how hard it is for them. I've got a major passion for dairy farmers. I'm devastated every time I hear about another dairy farmer losing their farm or giving it away. I've got a pineapple farming background. I always boast that I'm a pineapple farmer's daughter, and I'm very proud. Hey, g'day, Mum and Dad. How are you going? And I came up with the idea of Travel Rural Australia. That's ROO, like Dolly said.
That's right.
As in kangaroo, hoping that it was going to be a big source of income for me. I was delusional, obviously. I was completely kidding myself. I've had the idea for over 10 years, but I was waiting for the right time. There's never a right time. Tell you everybody, you want to do something, go do it now. Do it now.
How many characters do you have in your stable, so to speak?
Well, there's about 8 to 10 active, and there's a few more coming up. I cannot wait to release Scarlett O'Hara from Tara. So, but do you know what? I'll tell you something else, David, that I love to do. I support all regional areas. I'm an ex-Toowoomba girl. I love Toowoomba. But if I go to Kingaroy, I got my boots fixed in Kingaroy.
Right.
I came to Dalby. I bought my makeup in Dalby.
Yep.
When I'm in Toowoomba, I go all over Toowoomba searching for costumes and outfits for the team. You know, and I've got some absolutely stunning things, and people wonder where I get it from. And I always say Toowoomba, Darling Downs, regional, always regional. Search. Because I want them to have the money.
Yeah,
Take it out west. Take it out west.
It's interesting, that concept, because that translates to some of the festivals you've just mentioned, like the Apple and Grape and the various festivals they have down at Stanthorpe, like Bacon Fest, like the Carnival of Flowers here in Toowoomba. They're multi-layered because they provide entertainment for the locals, which is so important, but both the performers and the punters who come in from outside come in and spend money. So there's such a big deal for regions.
Huge.
But you've found in the time that you've been doing this that they're suffering at the moment, the whole festival industry. Why?
They really, truly are, and I'm here to start yelling it from the rooftops, because I don't want to sound off about music festivals, but I feel like every time a music festival falls over, it's front page news and it's on the first story on the news at night. Whereas these little rural festivals, I mean, this leads us into a very important point. You know, they're pulling the pin very quickly. The last few years has just been tragic. And I know, because I'm trying to get bookings. I'm trying to get out there and get the team out there and you know, keep a roof over my own head. But there's almost no grant money now for festivals, or very little. For little festivals I'm talking about, not the big ones. That some of them, they're tourism icons, okay? Your Red Bashes, this sort of stuff. They bring in internationals. Tara even brings in camel races from all over the world.
Yep.
You know, they're the big guns. So they attract a tourism quantity of people that's popular. There's fewer volunteers after COVID. All these wonderful 50-plussers that we adore, who were the backbone of Australia, they're not volunteering anymore. I don't know where they've gone, where they've all bought caravans and just taken off. I don't know where they are. But why can't they volunteer when in the caravan? Like, take your caravan to a festival and volunteer.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's less locals on the committees due to they've got to juggle numerous jobs and kids, you know, and families and stock and produce. So there's fewer committees. And I know for a fact some of the people out at Stanthorpe were juggling multiple jobs as well as being on the committee, emails, phone calls, you know, driving kilometres for their jobs too, mind you, hundreds of miles for their jobs, and coming back, sitting up till midnight, setting up entertainers and whatever else for 10 days of a festival.
Yeah. And you can only do it for so long, I guess.
They're exhausted.
That's
They're
right.
burnt out.
Yeah. The funding, or recognising why these regional festivals are so important, is something the government can do, you know, even in tight times, in terms of offering grants and recognising that the big festivals probably don't need as much of a leg up or a helping hand as the little festivals. Would you say? Well,
I believe regional festivals are a really important part of mental health in our rural and regional remote areas. Important part of mental health. I wanted to say that again. So, look, the government did a great thing after the COVID and handed out big wads of cash to a lot of regional rural festivals. Silly mistake. They said it has to be spent in that first year. Why they didn't say, listen, you've got 3 to 5 years to spend this is beyond me. And I know if they didn't spend it, yes, they may have had to give it back or use it for some other community project in that area. But to hand out that amount and then not follow it up with more money. And another huge issue is now public liability insurance. It's killing them, absolutely killing them. And, you know, fencing areas. Fencing costs a lot of money. Oh, we've got to have 4 police to every 100 people or whatever that quantity is that they have. You know, all those sorts of things. And, you know, somebody nailed it the other day on TV. They said, we're getting a lot more international acts. So people, it's expensive, you know, $200 up to $600 to $1,000 to go see somebody. I'm not going to name anybody, Taylor Swift. I won't name anybody, you know. We've got them all coming now, you know, like non-stop they're coming. So if you're going to pay that much money to go to Brisbane or pay for a ticket, can you afford petrol, accommodation and a couple of days out of your work week to travel out to King Royal, wherever the festival is? Can you do it? You should be doing it, but is it possible after you've decided, oh, these people are never coming back in my lifetime, I want to go see them?
That's true.
How do we help? You know, how do we help Aussies go to the regional festivals? We're not a pit of money. Everybody's got their hand out at the minute. Everybody from every direction. Doesn't matter who.
Yeah, that's
Everyone's
very
saying
true.
The government's got to do this. I'd like to know where this magic money tree is that the government's picking off at the minute.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is, particularly the public liability insurance.
Shocker.
Surely the government can kick in and patrol that in some way and keep it under control, because in a lot of cases the premiums are going up, but it's not based on an increase in in people making claims. There hasn't been an increase of festivals where people have injured themselves badly, but the premiums are going up regardless, and yet you can't stage one without public liability. So what do you do?
I 100% agree with you in that places like Dolby Delicious and Delightful Festival, I mean, they've now gone is it biannual? Is that how you say that?
Yes, yeah, every 2 years.
Every second year. So they're, I mean, it's sad. They want to go every year, but it's these costs. And I said to them, how much money do you need? So I went into bat and tried to contact some politicians and say, look, can you give these festivals 50 to 100 grand to pay for? No, they're not walking around in Versace shoes out there.
No,
they want fencing. They want the fencing, the public liability, and some toilets and facilities. They're not asking for anything giant here. No. They're not asking, I want $50,000 pay to do the festival.
No, that's right.
They're not. Stand Up Upland Grape, unbelievable. And I feel quite sad when I leave some festivals because I think, geez, that one's on the edge. Like they get a lot of people, some of them, but I still get the feeling and think, geez, they did well, but can they do it again? Can they pull this off again?
That's it.
And I'm worried. I spoke to a wonderful woman in Tuna Fest over in South Australia.
Yep.
74. Wow. She's been running the festival, well, not just her alone, but they've been going for 60 years. Yep. Just pulled the pin.
Gosh.
And I said, do you mind me asking why? She said, yeah, most of the committee are in their late 60s and 70s and we're tired.
And no one's coming up to take their place.
Behind them.
Yeah, people love to go to the festivals.
Yep,
they don't necessarily want to be involved in organising them. Long live the regional festivals, and I think you've preached a really good message in terms of supporting them and having a chat to your local politicians about why they can't be funded better and more, more strategically. So, it's a message well worth putting out there. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much, David. Dolly, do you want to have the last word?
Thank you very much. And thank you all for listening. And thank you, David, for this opportunity. Please get out to Kingaroy Bacon Fest and support your local, regional, rural and remote festivals.
Madison Hebbard there. Helped by Dolly Parton. Lovely and really terrific message to some of these smaller festivals that we enjoy having and almost take for granted need support. So, keen to hear your thoughts on that as to what needs to be done to perhaps better support some of these regional festivals, the big ones and the little ones. Of course, they're happening all the time. The Texas Country Music Festival coming up in September, and I'm going to be having a chat to one of the artists who will be gracing the stage at that one, coming up a little bit later on this morning after 9:30. But if you'd like to share your thoughts as to what needs to be done to make sure that some of these regional festivals survive and prosper, flip me a text 0487 993 222 0487 993 222.
Conversations.
Spend an hour in the life of